to this soft power and hard power lecture. This will consider it in the international relation. So we will try to understand why India is considered to be a soft power. What do you understand by hard power? Why USA is considered to be a hard power? Similar like Russia is also sometimes considered as a hard power, Turkey is and all. So what do you understand by hard power? Then we will understand what is soft power. Hard power is something like where retaliation done immediately to show that I am superior. You can't suppress. Every time they want to possess, want to show their authority over someone else. So that sometimes suppress the other countries or the weak countries, and sometimes it provoke other country to retaliate, and this create a situation of nothing but war or fight between two countries. So that is something called hard power. Like if another country try to suppress or to prove its authority over someone else, this is something called hard power. And hard power is not like soft power will also retaliate when something happens over burden or over issues have been increased too much, then they will also retaliate. But hard power is like every time they want to show their superiority, authority over someone else. That is something called hard power. So hard power like influenced over you as I'm stronger than you, you are weaker than me. They always try to prove that thing, such as stronger in what? Such as in military exercise, economic power. If you see one example, US war on Iraq and Afghanistan after 9/11 attack, US declared war on Iraq and Afghanistan. Then economic sanction, like joint comprehensive plan of action was taken. So Iran was making nuclear weapons and some countries became suspicious. So the permanent 5 countries groupings are there, where we have for 5 countries grouping at United Nations Security Council. So we have USA, Russia, China, UK and France, and another Germany is there. That's why we considered it as a P5+1 country. So they started imposing economic sanctions on Iran, and ultimately Iran failed their economic earnings, and crisis started to emerge in Iran, and ultimately the trade of the Iran was disrupted so badly that Iran came down to his knees, bowed down to the superior powers of the USA, and ultimately all the powers that was taken or the sanctions were imposed, then it was revoked when Iran leaned down to them. So this is something called hard power, economic power over you, military superiority over you. So what is the problem with the hard power? It is like it is harsh. It may lead to repercussion. Huge investment is required, like when America declared war with the Taliban and all after 9/11 attack. Then what happens? Investment was huge. America has investment huge in Afghanistan. After that, now from 2 decades, it has observed that no, this investment is going in vain. Then they started to move back from there, from Afghanistan peace deal and all. So that's what that it requires huge investment. Repercussion can happen. Taliban has also started to attack to them. Retaliation may occur. So that's why we need soft power. Because of these issues, we need soft power. Ultimately, this disrupt what? Disrupt peace of the nation. Everybody wants peace. Nobody wants war. And because of this, we need soft power. And that's why India is playing as a soft power for the international global countries. So how India is soft power? How we can say? See, India has, let us suppose that India has a nuclear bombs and plants and all, everything we have. India has said we use nuclear power to other countries to retaliate. Unless and until some countries doesn't use like this nuclear power, we won't retaliate. If some countries, if any opponent country have used nuclear power, then India will use. That is called soft power. We won't attack you first. It is the policy of India from starting only. When Pakistan used to do ceasefire, then only India attacks and retaliate on the Jammu Kashmir regions and all. So that is called the soft power with the India. So a power of persuasion and attraction is with the soft power. A poll happened. There was a very good example of the soft power. There was a scene when the president of Afghanistan was against India, and at that time a poll happened where Afghanistan had to choose a favorable country for them, and people were so much influenced by the India, they chose India at that time where the president was against India. This proves that their president is wrong, and this proves us that because of our soft in nature, because of not harsh in nature, because USA is present in Afghanistan from long back time, and USA has done what? USA has always done attacks, terrors, retaliation in the Afghanistan regions after 9/11 attacks and all. And further all, Taliban is trained by whom? Taliban is trained by America only to move away Russia from those regions. So that is what they know, which country is favorable for them, which country is a soft power, which country loves to work, which country wants peace, and ultimately they chose India. So India gave, and after that also India gave him a democracy to Afghanistan by constructing parliament, lots of road constructions, highway to provide net communications to those regions. Further, medical facilities have been provided in Afghanistan, and today also those medical facilities, doctors used to consult our Indian doctors that is situated in New Delhi if some issues have been occurred. So India provided further the midday meals. In that midday meals, India supplies biscuits to the schools children. Hospitals, telecommunication through the medicines project where doctors are given advice through the Delhi doctors. Then Pan Africa e-network is also there, that India has set network facilities on all in the Africa regions. So this proves that we are a soft nation. We help other nations. We does not believe in war kind of situations. So India, when goes to a nation for construction, India hire local people to work and make them skilled. This is the big example of India. India, if goes to the another nation for construction, they hire local people and they skill them. Whereas China, like for the Hambantota port present in the Sri Lanka and all, they hire their own managers and labor. They do not skill the local people. And ultimately what happens, that India make them, those nations, reliable on their own, and this China does not have such kind of policy. So that's why India is considered to be a soft power. India is helping by nature from the starting. This is something called as a soft power. India's celebrities are also loved by the African people. India is one of the countries which is getting elected in the UN Council related elections. Further, disaster response by the India is every time at the first. When the Nepal hit by Bangladesh, that the earthquake, India helped him by coming forward. Further, in the corona pandemic, India has emerged lots of missions in the Maldives regions. So this shows that how India is helping in nature. India is not gaining anything. India is just helping them. Just we want to make good relation with our neighbors, with our neighboring countries and all. So Japan, another good example is the India and Japan nuclear relation, where Japan is the only country in the world who had been impacted by the nuclear bomb, and it was done by whom? It was done by USA only. So then also Japan is still Japan oppose nuclear power, but then also it support India. India is exception for Japan. India, Japan, France, even Australia always had a good relation. So India further denied any treaty to sign related with the nuclear power, but then also India is being a trusted country throughout the world. So what are the characteristics of the soft power? The first characteristics will be like they never threat. They always came as a helping in nature. They have a power and they show, they tell, if you use first, then we will use after it in the form of retaliation. Power, that is something called power of persuasion, not coercion. And this soft power, building of the soft power require a long term. It requires good relations. Hard power is like just go and attack. No, soft power is like that. You have to wait, you have to make a good relation with the other country, and it requires long time. Effects are equally long term, like Bhutan is always with India, requires lower investment all. Every day whatever will happen, Bhutan will always be with India. Like France also. France and India always had a good relation. Like recently only a Scorpion submarine has been given, technology has been given by France. It was like the technology is given by the France, and after that India will make their own by the learning those technology. It is not like that we will provide you. Like similarly we have Rafale deals and all. So that is something called we have a soft power, and thus all the countries want to attach with us, collide with us, work with us. So effects are equally long term, like Bhutan is always with India. Then loyalty, friendship is more important for India. Issues with the soft power very slow. Yes, it takes time to build up those relations, but it will be a strong one. It will be slow, but it will be a strong one. Needs to be very clearly, very carefully cultivated. Like example, sometimes Nepal retaliate, like when it comes with the wordings of China, but then also peoples of Nepal knows India is always in their favor. We provide them jobs. Their people works in our corporate companies, in the Indian corporate companies. They don't require visas and all. They can use our Indian resource openly. No restrictions are there. So that is something called a soft power India by nature. That's all. I hope you have liked this video. Please subscribe. Your subscription is a form of payment for me. If you have any suggestions, if you want any on-demand video lecture, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle. The link is given in the description. Thank you.